This is a video that if you follow me on Twitter or you've even seen my Twitter, I did post like comment. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on the patches below. So let me know your thoughts and I will make a video on it. Kind of like we did last time with the 2 videos I made about what the community wanted for season 4 of GGST. And now that we're in season 4, obviously the reviews and the thoughts on the patches have been negative by the community. I mean, I can see why. It's pretty easy to tell why most people don't like this patch. You know, I wanted to make another one of these videos. So this time we have a lot more comments than the last time. We have 134 total comments, and I said I'd include every single one. So this will probably be a longer video, safe to say, but I think it'll be fun. Yeah, I'm curious for everyone's thoughts in the comment section. If you didn't get to see the post, or you just forgot to comment, or whatever the case may be, then comment in this video, because I think I will probably end up doing another part going over the comment section. So yeah, I'm curious what everyone has to say. Yeah, I guess we'll just start from the top. I will put every comment on the screen. But yeah, let's start with Heho. Heho says, they putting me on suicide watch. I asked him how to explain, and he basically sent me a whole essay for Milia. I'm actually going to save this one because I have a Milia video coming out with Walter. I'm not gonna go over it right now just because I have a video with Walter coming out very soon, where I'm basically gonna be asking him about his opinions on all the Milia tweets that I've seen and kind of going over what's happened to the character. I'll put this on the screen, but I'm not gonna cover it too much because I don't want to talk about Milia because, again, or I don't want to talk about Milia too much just because, again, the video is coming out relatively soon. Fern says, the last time that Fern talked and I talked in the comment section of the previous video, he mentioned he wants them to give Kai a gun. And he said they actually gave Kai a gun. My quest has been fulfilled, but I have nothing to say. Yeah, I think basically what he's talking about or referring to with this is it's basically the glitch, I guess the Kai charge stunnage. You know, obviously it'd be more plus when you're in shock state. You know, especially in DI, he has like a little infinite, but we believe it's a bug. So I think they addressed it, so it will get patched pretty soon. Kid Drac says, not saying anything new here, but it really does not seem like they play tested this patch. RAM is egregious. It's immensely whack to remove technical depth from characters 4 years into the game's life cycle. I'm happy with the Eno changes, but this game as a whole feels sloppy. So yeah, I recently released a baby mode video asking opinions on the difficulty of Strive, and you know, this kind of plays into it, like removing depth from characters like Pot, just because they want to make them more accessible to the player base. But to do that, you kind of have to bend them and you know, like ruin their identity. And it's I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I guess I don't know. Again, this game, they've mentioned they want it to be very accessible, so I can see why they did it, but I definitely agree with the part where he also says that the game feels sloppy as a whole, because I do believe it does feel sloppy. Winty Guitar says, Biken finally god tier, but at what cost? Well, every time you lost, you made a Twitter post complaining about the reasons you thought you were losing, and I'm not gonna say you downplayed, you every day said this character was bottom 2 or the worst for the very long time, and you requested the changes you wanted, complained about the combos, complained about the pressure, complained about this, Perry sucks that, and now we're living in this timeline. So yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to hold it. Congrats on the buffs. Blue Heck says, I agree with the overall idea of the patch, but in execution it falls flat in many ways. The character strength is all over the place. You're either playing LeBron James or random playing basketball. I think we'll be okay with fine tuning, but they need to release more patches. I definitely agree. I think more patches is something that a lot of people want. More frequent patches, especially for this game, with, you know, how diverse the characters are and how different each character is, I guess. And like, you know, matchups are so cool to look at in this game because, you know, seeing characters kits like go against each other it's fascinating. Like, it's really cool to look at. So I think, you know, there's potential to get very lost with your patches because you don't know what to do. So I think more frequent patches to help clean some things up once you make a mistake, which it's okay. I think some devs need to realize it's okay to make mistakes, right? Like, it's okay. but you have to fix them. Bluick also says, also wanted more interactions while increasing damage was insane. Just tone down the damage, especially on supers. I agree. It's weird. They keep saying that they want the game to be like less. They've said it before. They want the game to be less damage, but then they just buff. They buff the damage. I don't know. The route they're taking is just weird, and you can tell that they truly balance off Twitter. So it's funny that we're here. I don't know. Symbolist, aka Sarah, says they killed Bandit Revolver in combos for neutral sake. Vortex launches shit. Bringer can't be held, so half the cool routes from that are gone. No TK, HVV. All our Oki setups are gone, and now we just press close slash like bots. But they gave us T-move Sidewinder. Well, unfortunately, in this game, in this patch, they buffed Soul more than they did like Zato, more than they did like Bedman, more than they did like a bunch of other characters. Yeah, I mean, the way Soul works now, it doesn't really look like he has that much expression still. He kind of just, I mean, he's really always been a close slash bot. I mean, he's had everything in terms of special moves, so now that they're worse, it kind of is fair. But obviously, they reworked some moves like Fafnir, sorry. Yeah, it's you can special cancel into it. It's like -3 on hit. Oh, sorry, -3 on block, and a hard knockdown on hit. So I believe he's getting a hard knockdown on like every hit, which is kind of funny. I don't know why, but sure, Arxis. Puffin says they took away a lot of skill expression on many characters, Pot Soul, and gave more to characters that had a decent amount already. Chip, Nago. Damage also somehow once higher again. Yeah, I mean, this is literally summing everything up. I don't understand it myself, but this is, I guess, just the direction they want to go. Soul is weird because I feel like Soul never really like had his skill expression taken away. I feel like they just made I feel like a lot of the patches, they've just made his combos like different. Like I feel like this fella has had 50 different, like every patch it feels like he has a different, like the way you route him is different. I feel like every patch, and now they finally, I guess, doubled down on it because the route still did insane damage. But I feel like now I'm not sure, I haven't seen too much of his optimal combos, but it looks like now they're a bit different with how they work. But I mean, I still literally saw a clip of Soul doing like some 80% combo, like as a, I don't know. He's still insane, he's still broken, but enough about Soul. I agree with everything Puffin said here. CPU says, I think in general I like the direction they're going, especially with certain redesigns, but so many tools feel horribly overtuned, and some characters with high skill expression got shot for no reason, especially Potemkin. I like the ideas, but right now there's many issues. Yeah, I agree. Some tools do feel horribly overtuned. RAM, right? And yeah, I agree with the talk about Potemkin. Again, this is kind of like the argument of making characters more, like I said earlier, making them more accessible by, taking away their expression. So Robbie says, here's my thing. I definitely don't mind the new patch because it makes it feel like a whole new game, but the redundancy from the top tiers RAM or Lmao is unhealthy and definitely needs some changing. And even some of the weaker characters got weaker for some reason. He then goes on to say, however, as said before, I definitely like a new feel of the game, and I do believe most things are not going to stay forever. Also, I didn't add my change with Geo, and okay. But yeah, I see what he's saying. It feels like some of the weaker characters got weaker. I believe Milia and 3.5 was considered to, once they removed the hard knockdown on Wild Assault, I believe that she was in the conversation for being one of the weaker characters in the game. I personally thought she was a little under, like, okay, I'm not gonna say downplayed, but I don't think she was as bad as people thought. But I'm not saying she was good either. I'm not saying she was great, but I don't think she was some like bottom 3, bottom 5 character. But now I don't know where she is. I'll have to, again, I'm still kind of, we're all a little fresh to the patch, so I guess it's too early to have like solid in-print opinions, right? A little more time, and then I guess we'll be able to judge character strengths. We have yet to, I doubt anyone out there has fought every single character this patch, put their character to like develop and take notes on matchups, right? So a little more time. But yeah, no, I don't know why some of these characters are getting weaker. It's kind of funny. Like, shout out to fucking Zato. Okay, so Sasuke says, most of the sin changes feel necessary and don't really introduce any more depth outside of being blatantly damaging plus advantageous on a lot of the stuff. As far as his new combos are, I don't agree with many of the changes at all. Learning the new stuff is bad when old B&Bs got shot. He did not need any changes, but there are ways to touch on the character to make him slightly better, such as food buffs or changes in the specials that I previously mentioned to make hit confirming his specials easier. Damage was already, but all HP got buffed, so it checks out. Stamina was completely reworked and made to fit a purpose that IMO was already doing its job well prior to the patch and didn't need any changes, but now it seems like a spend all type of character and not as progressive thing now because of the cooldown is far too punishing now. Overall, there's a far less room for player to express themselves. Certain setups do not work anymore, and he does too much damage. They could have just buffed food, bro. I disagree with this, and I will always disagree with this. As someone who plays Sin, I will disagree with this so heavy. So heavy. What they did to Sin, okay. He is a weird character to talk about because his power level is higher and but he has more weaknesses. So what I mean, so I do agree with the last part they said. They said that, the stamina, you're meant to just spend it and you're the refill in the stamina is just, it's a very long time to the point, right, where if he has more flaws now because he ends up minus on hit a lot of the times because he has no stamina because he probably just used it to break the wall. So what that means, like, his power level is higher for sure. So what I mean by that is he can hit you and break the wall off any hit, but in trade he's spending everything. So that when you go to the next screen, you break the wall, there's a time where you're like on like a triple Eddie timer, it feels, where you're just waiting for your bar to start refilling. And I believe the bar does not fill during blocks that are hit stun as well, which is kind of sad. But it takes a while. What I'm saying, it's not. I wouldn't really call it a resource because you're just meant to spend it. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's no like. I guess there is. I guess you can use more meter now to avoid using stamina in some situations, right? So instead of doing like elk hunt follow up in the dash, you could do like elk hunt fast RC, fast red RC, 6K, right? And get some plus frames off, that while saving the bar. But like you just want to save for combos. And yes, he has a lot more routes. I actually like his new routes. The recovery on the Gazelle stuff feels a little different because obviously it's longer. And yes, like, I like that he can punish you for not being able to block. Before, if Sin did not have meter, he couldn't hurt you. Because if you got hit by the overhead, it led to like 20 damage into like, you just lost a bar of stamina and you did 20 damage and you can only punish them while having meter so you can card cancel the super. Now if you can't block and you just get filtered by the overhead, then it actually feels like Sin is winning, which is all I really ever wanted. Because I personally wouldn't have buffed it like this. I would have just made it so on counter hit, I would have just increased the attack level on the overhead, so like on counter hit you're not like minus and you can actually get a whole combo. Like if you get counter hit by the sliding low Elkhud, then you get put in a full combo. The combo isn't great, and it's expensive, and obviously the combo is way better now at the cost of being more expensive. But I mean, you still at least get something. I just want him to get something to punish players for just mashing throw or being like idiots and not blocking. So the fact that he can actually just take advantage of you sleeping on the wheel, then it feels great. So no, players are gonna have to hold that one. I don't care. People are gonna have to hold that. Joker Trick says, 140 characters isn't a lot, so I might do 2 posts. So they're talking about just the length of the message. Some of the reworks to the characters just really missed the mark. Kind of spits in the face of people who've developed their characters over the course of 3 years and lowers the skill ceiling while keeping a high reward. Another thing is like they clearly did not playtest these changes. Obviously, bugs aside, RAM. They made it clear that their intent was to make the damage more situational, but I've seen nothing but 300 plus damage combos or even TODs from same usual suspects with piss easy B&Bs. Yeah, again, this is like the 5th comment out of like 8 it feels, where we're just talking about these reworks are not hitting, these characters are doing the same stuff. Like, what is going on? I don't know, dude. I don't understand. I don't know the route they want to go. It's just, this company is just so confusing. Sergeant Frogger says, I like how they went for trying to make games last longer with everyone getting more health, but I feel like they went a bit overboard with the extra damage compensations on some characters and completely defeated the point of more health and actually made it worse. Yeah, again, I don't understand. I feel like the compensation, like, it's always the compensation buffs that end up ruining the patches for the most part. Like, I feel like for most of the patches I've, actually have been a part of while playing this game, it just feels like, I don't know, like, okay, whoa, a good nerf, and then the compensation buff is like, oh, well, like what, So, I don't know. I don't understand where they're trying to go. King Africa, that says, hashtag free 2D. Anyways, Magic says, feels like the game is going to be determined by your matchup against Ram. Yeah, no, this is literally, that's how I feel. Takamek, and he put a video. Editor, why don't you play the whole video out? Well, why don't we let the people take a bit of a break from the reading? Go ahead and play it.
Taking the mother of all armors here, Jack. Can't spread over every head. What the hell are you? Why won't you die? Can't hurt me, Jack. Now what you son.
Turk Winif says, Testament's playing in season 2 and are baffling power crap every patch, and this is no different. They receive what should have been part of their kit from the start, while every character remotely comparable do what they do but far better. Their tournament viability is a joke. Beyond character-specific gripes, the intent of season 4 is good, but the execution is questionable at best. It feels like they weren't playtested or considering what the ramifications would be, while others were barely changed, and the damage is as ridiculous as ever. Yeah, so again, damage, that last little post, yeah, I agree. Like, the execution is terrible. And but going back to Testament, so Testament is a character that I thought, as some other people agreed, like Marvello, that this character was so underrated, and I think they were downplayed a bit. I actually thought they were pretty strong, and I actually put them higher than most people. But the change that they got while seeing the rest of the stuff in the game is a little sad. I think they were a good buff or two away from people actually recognizing this character and putting them pretty high. So the fact that they just got, like, I'm glad the character didn't get buffed. I hate this character, but it's seeing what some other characters got, I think it would have been justified. So I agree. King Koa says, all I asked for was Axel buffs because I thought he was weak and they made him worse. His pressure is so hard to keep now. He has less combos, and his combos do much less damage on average due to rainwater, and his zoning still feels the same. The rainwater nerfs also means he has less control over where he wants the opponent to go in combos, like in the corner switch with one vision, or not breaking the wall to go corner to corner with Wall of Soul. The Axel changes, I saw the changes that he can do some more combos off like 6k or 5p, but it actually seems like the rainwater was all the Axel players cared about, and apparently it's just looking rough. I think they would all rather just have the vacuum back. So I think the nerf to rainwater is fine, but you gotta come to him, and they just failed to do so. The changes that he got are just not good enough. So Johto says, this entire feels like it was procrastinated on. Then in September, Arxis was like, it's fine, we're almost gonna release in October. Realized it was almost October, then made the date the 31st and made some of the worst patch notes you've seen. Yeah, I mean, the patch notes are hideous. Joel says, I love that they buffed since follow-ups. I felt so unsafe using Hoof Stomp before, but now that it has Guard Crush, it feels actually usable. Driver having a tumble, so it's easy to combo grounded characters is great too. Yeah, I love this. Okay, I'm not gonna say I love the Sin changes, but I like him more than I did last patch. Not only, I think he's stronger, or again, because his power level is higher, so I think he's stronger. The flaws are, from someone that has played Zato, the flaws are fine to get around for me at least, but I don't know, dude. Like, being able to punish people just mashing throw or just getting hit on purpose is actually... Okay, Kensei says, I fear Kai is never getting 50% HP DI. So it means going to DI with 50% HP left, and Yeah, no, that would be absurd, especially now because of the bug. So yeah, no consent. Sola says they added a lot of reworks while testing half of them. Damage does not feel lowered at all. Yeah, I mean, this is a repeat. This is a repeated comment for sure. I mean, this is. Gummy says 4 years into the game, it's a weird time to rework a bunch of characters. That being said, it feels like this is what they wanted Nago to be from the beginning, and he's low-key fun. I don't think Nago comboing into his bite is what they. Dude, it like okay. Nago having Kara bite and being able to combo into his bite is some cringe stuff. I will not lie. I don't think that's what they intended from the beginning. I think they're lost right now. I think they're very confused, and I think that the company is just, the team full of devs are just doing stuff right now. Trying to make the game feel more alive. Who knows, dude? Yurikov says Zato is still DLC. Who? Patriarch Panda says, I think it's a bit of a phrase right now. It sucks rats. Some characters were fundamentally changed. It sucks that some characters got weaker for no reason. I think it's ridiculous changes compared to others. I think people will still compete and stick to it, but hey, need time. Yeah, of course, I understand. The game is, again, not a lot of people are happy with the game right now. Or sorry, a lot of people are unhappy with the game right now. It's obvious to see why, right? But I do still believe people will play the game, even if they're saying they're not. It's obvious, Ron Original says they nerfed the bottom one character and it unintentionally buffed Slayer. Yeah, man, we live in a world where Pile Bunker does more damage, right? Like, crazy shit. Maze says L game Slayer lives. I agree, bro. I don't know what they're doing. I will say this: Slayer having no reversal is, oh my gosh, it was such a good change. Such a good change. Zack Star Attack says, not even talking about Zato, the whole direction of this patch trying to reduce disagreeable points while putting shrinks in other places is only good on paper. What they replace the disagreeable stuff with is even worse in many cases, or low tiers are given barely anything. Yeah, I mean, this is going back to like, the changes to the weaker characters. So people said Testament, people said Milia, obviously Zato, Bedman. The changes are weird when we're giving stuff like this to the higher, echelon of characters, which is, I don't know, I don't understand it. But even without that, like just the other part you mentioned where, reduce the disagreeable points, like nerfing, the goal, I do believe their goal was to nerf characters, but they executed it. They had the right idea, but they just executed it so poorly. Like, I don't know. Russian Drunkard says, golf is a pretty great move if you ignore the frame data and complete lack of disjoint. It actually does trade really well with a lot of things and plays into the zoner Faust nicely. Too bad it's death on block. I don't know the frame data on block. Blue Jay says, they took away Geo's True Strike throw mix and made her a mid dispenser again. The optimal game plan now is literally just mix between Sepultura and Enhanced Sepultura, both mids that reset neutral on block. Alright, I'm putting my foot down on this. I don't know what bro was talking about. So Geo's Strike Throw Mix, whatever, it was broke. It was so broken. If you didn't have a DP, you actually just had to hold that, or if your name wasn't Faust because he could just crouch it. The Geo is supposed to be a mid dispenser, which I guess she is, but when she gets meter, she has some of the most like messed up fuzzy. Like, she has some crazy fuzzies, which I mean, I guess a lot of characters do, but she has some crazy fuzzies. She's supposed to be a neutral character, which is why they buffed her dash. They don't want her doing mix-ups and everything that she was doing, right? She's supposed to be a with punish neutral, like, heavy character. They made her stronger in install, which is install, of course, is when you have more meter, where she changes colors, right? So I mean, yeah, I think what you should be complaining about on Geo is the fact that they took away a lot of her combos. They took, obviously she's not doing like the crazy, damage combos anymore mid-screen, which thankfully not. It was absurd. So I mean, but she's sticking to the true, like, what she is. She is a neutral character. Her dash is absurdly broken. I fought Geo the other day. Like, it's like, we call Johnny's dash to help, but Geo is literally a warp. Like, it's crazy. But I mean, that's what she is. She's not supposed to be some, heavy left, right, high, low. It's not supposed to be any of that. She's just supposed to kill you neutral. But, Alexander says, it's sad to see a lot of the character directions change so substantially. It makes me less motivated to learn Dizzy since all my work on a character might just disappear in a patch. I was playing a lot of Soul late season 3, and seeing his entire identity change sucks. Also, Rip Capel. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Soul's identity, I don't know, okay. I don't know if Soul's identity really changed. I guess this is a topic for like another day as well, but I don't really think his identity changed because he's still just a close slash far slash, you know, demon, with obviously Fafnir being a key part to his kit now. But obviously his combo, I think his routing, I think what you mean is his routing changed. But I think for Soul, I guess we can call that his identity changing. It's just like, dude, his routes have literally, I feel like they've changed like 30 times in this game's lifespan. So it's like, I don't know. Sir Nightbush says, I like the idea of the patch to shake things up, but some changes, Millie, Axel, Potemkin, are dubious at best. The patch is rough in execution with Infinite's being present. On the other hand, Bedman is finally in a solidly in a good spot, which feels incredible, so I can't complain. So yeah, it seems like for Bedman, there's people out there that think he's the same, worse, or better. There's no like agreed on opinion. And yeah, I agree. The patch is rough in execution, but I do believe they had the right idea. They just executed it poorly. Frick says, Leo, this patch generally feels so bad to me. He feels like a tank. They seem to be tanking him in a direction where the front turn sucks, but back turn is broken. He's way more fun in like training mode, but his neutral and bad in player expression feel way worse. Also, H Boom Oki is dead. I mean, Leo back turn is, yes, I agree, it's broken. It's actually bugged right now, so it's getting fixed because he can't do some special cancels while he's in the back turn off normals. But yeah, he definitely is worse in front turn because obviously the dash block is worse. So, you know, having matchups where you need that dash block to be broken where it's just not the same anymore is, I can definitely see it being rough. One being Johnny. I know Leo does terrible into Johnny from what I understand. Rodius Prime says, well, let me see. In general, I do like the direction they're going with the select redesigns. I like how they went for trying to make the games last longer with everyone on more HP, but I feel like it went a bit overboard with the extra damage compensation on some or other characters. Yeah, again, like, the idea was there, and I've said this about 30 times, so I apologize, but the idea was there. It was executed poorly. The little buff compensation, the compensations for nerfs a lot of the times are just overboard with, you know, Strive and I guess other Arxis games. Justa says, I personally feel bummed out that Arxis took away one of Axel's most important tools that actually let him play someone decently close up first to cast. I do think that his zoning is better now, thankfully, but at the cost of him being more boring to play as and against. Yeah, I mean, people just don't like fighting zoners in general, and the fact that they took away what was fun to the player is definitely a bum. That's pretty sad. So I haven't heard a single positive take on Axel. It's really just been doom. Bear says, many characters got buffed, but are now more boring to play. Nago can't special cancel out of his H normals, but they do 120 damage. Paul lost Kara's plus all of his cool combos, but now he is easier since Podbuster's armor and combos are simpler. People that needed help also got nerfed or nothing. Yeah, again, weaker characters, they did not help. And actually, some characters like Zato got nerfed, which is funny. Nago having that is absurd. I mean, the special cancels, I'm not sure how bad it feels for Nago players. It probably doesn't feel bad because the button like goes full screen. But it probably feels different, so I don't know. But yeah, 120 damage is, dude, the chip damage on it especially is absurd. It's yeah, and yeah, I don't know. Kerblaster says, I think the hate is super overblown on the basis that people are thinking about what's fair and what they think the game should look like. I'm having a lot of fun with my characters and Dizzy, even if some other characters are a little over the top. Yeah, so I do believe, okay, so the hate, I think it can be it's weird. I guess it all comes down to the level that you're playing at, right? Obviously, if you're a lower level, then you're going to think the hate could be overblown. And I'm sure there's some people at the top that, you know, even believe the hate is overblown themselves. I guess it's just so, like, the game is just so swamped with the idea that the game, or that, you know, people are just unhappy, right? And it's pretty obvious to see. So I don't know. It kind of just is a perspective thing based on what level you're playing at and what you have to deal with. Obviously, the more belligerent stuff is going to be used better at the higher level. So I guess there's just an aspect that most people have not seen. Ash the Pro Gamer says, blatant lack of care for the competitive scene and an over reliance on supporting newcomers. Nearly every changes patch supports this notion. Potemkin card removal is a spin in the face. The comp scene, Ram, Soul, and Pot fully reworked 4 years after the release. Yeah, again, this is. I literally actually kind of just went over what I just said for the last comment. Yeah, I mean, they've made it, like, they want the game to be easy, and it's obvious. In fact, the baby mode video that I made the other day should be up, so go check that out. But, you know, it's funny, like, 4 years into the release, we're finally, you know, doing some reworks and, you know, things that should have been changed from, like, the start, or given things characters should have had from the start. Like, it's just weird, dude. I don't understand. But yeah, no, they definitely do support they definitely do support the casual scene much more than the competitive scene. Cal says, it feels like they had an idea on paper of how they wanted to steer the game, and I think that direction could be good if executed properly. Pretty much Telly dropped the ball in execution. Why are we nerfing Milia when she was already weak? Why are we nerfing Zato again? Dude, I don't get it. I don't understand. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, like, from watching this video, like, a lot of the comments are the same, right? Like, we all have. I've yet to really see any positive comments. The first one I saw was someone saying that the hate was overblown. Waffle, sorry, says, this patch really feels unfinished. It's sort of with TOD's infinites and many glitches. It feels like they have no idea what direction they want to take with the game, so they're just doing shit and shipping it without testing it all. It's really sad to see my favorite fighting game being fucked. Yeah, again, it's so weird looking at this patch because we've all, dude, ever since they showed the roadmap saying we're getting the small balance patch and then the major one in October, we've all been preying on this patch. Like, we've all been wanting this patch so bad. And to see it come out like this is pretty upsetting for a lot of people, you know? Delzelon says, I love it. I think Dizzy's pretty and all the silly stuff this patch has added to let me... Okay, yeah, okay, here we go. So this is what I mean. Like, it just is a perspective thing. If you want to just mess around and press buttons with your friend, then you are loving this patch, right? I think fun fact, like, I think in one of the videos, I can't remember who you are. In fact, I probably won't put it on the screen, but I'm definitely going to go back and try to find what you said. But someone in the comment section in one of the previous videos where I did this said, you know, I really liked, you know, pressing buttons with my friends, and I wish, you know, they added a mode where it's just silly stuff where, you know, maybe Faust items just run on the screen, or maybe this happens, right? You know, just like a party game, like little mode where you can just play with your friends and, you know, have fun, right? Like, it's just a perspective on where you are and how serious you take the game, because, you know, obviously people like this, you know, they like having fun with, you know, all the crazy changes and whatnot. But I'm sure if they were to take the game serious and get to that higher level, they would be like, yeah, no, it's not fun anymore, right? So, yeah, no, I love it. This is, yeah, thank you for the comment. Jace says, happy with the Bedman change, but it feels like Arxis can't decide what to do with the character. Nerf the ability to do long block strings when it was one of the reasons people got into Bedman is questionable. Nerf wasn't too bad, though. At least he wasn't totally changed like some others. Yeah, Bedman wasn't reworked, but again, it plays into the baby mode factor of the game where people just don't like to lab, and, you know, the devs just dumb it down for them and give them the answers. So this is one of the answers by nerfing Bedman's pressure so more people can just feel like they're not getting put in a quote-unquote like infinite. So yeah, Less Than says, to be honest, this amount of a patch takes so much programming to work. I am honestly glad it's better than DBFZ season update patches or Sam Show. The need to polish it is for sure, but the pick up and play audience should enjoy the new season. Yeah, again, the pick up and play audience loved this version of the game. It's just, again, it's just a perspective type thing. Randcastle says, they basically eliminate Pot's cars, 6k cars for damage, but that ends up getting him way less versatile than before on combos, and that only made it, yeah, okay. So, I don't know. The pot changes are just weird. It's just a little weird that they've reworked them 4 years into the game, right? I don't know, dude. It's moving all of Potemkin's skill expression after intentionally keeping it. Yeah, right. Like, oh, sorry, this is a comment from Cricket, but yeah, like I don't even need to finish. I mean, I'm obviously gonna finish the comment, but like, it's just weird. This patch is so weird, dude. For the 4 years feels like a slap in the face for every Potemkin player who grinded execution. Not just the high level players. Not much more to be said that hasn't already been said. Exactly. Oh, and he said also taking Ramethal and removing her one real weakness, limited mid-screen pressure, and completely removing it by giving her Guard Crush swords and the downward angled sword really makes me think Arx has no idea what to balance anymore, especially after the DBFC patch. Yeah, the only good thing I can say that could possibly happen is the next patch will change a lot of this shit, because you gotta remember, they heavily listen to Twitter opinions, and I bet they've only seen negative and barely any positive, so I'm very interested to see how they respond to this. Royce says, the ideas they had were generally good, reducing damage, increasing interactions per round, but they way overcompensate with how much they buff the damage to make up for that. Some characters are blowing you up more than before. It could be worse, but it should be better. Again, this is a repeated comment for sure as well. Like, we all have the same idea, right? Like, it's pretty obvious to see what the issues are with the game, so now the ball is in their court. We need to see what they do. AI sorry, I don't want to butcher it, but they said, I'm mixed on season 4. On one hand, everyone feels somewhat new, with new routes to feel and new things to learn. On the other hand, some characters got completely reworked for no reason. Yeah, others got little nothing getting power crept. This patch clearly wasn't play tested enough with the amount of bugs, and although this patch was about lower damage to make the game less volatile, the patch is arguably the most volatile. With Gold Lewis CODing you for breathing and Ram somehow doing 90% combos with Beam Super. Yeah, again, everyone has said this patch was not play tested, right? Like, it's absurd. Ram is so broken. Ram, Gold Lewis, very broken. And yeah, I think we all like the idea of the new feeling to the game. It's just, I don't know, the way it's done is just so bad. Ramlethal Gear says, Ram just wins now. There's no adapting to her other than not play against her. Sword Toss is overtuned and feels sluggish. She does too much sword damage, and Calvados is almost last horizon damage. They also remove almost all skill expressions from the game. Yeah, I think, okay, so here's the thing. You can nerf a character and not get rid of their skill expression. It's just the way that Arxis nerfs, or that Strive nerfs these characters. It's not even like they take away they take away expression from the character. They ruin identities, and I think that's what again. No one wants to play an overtuned, buff, top 1 glitched character. I think people want the strong characters to be strong, but they want ultimately they want their character to not just be 100% different. They want to have the expression there, and the things like, for example, the pop players work so hard on like their execution with the cars and whatnot. They want that to be in the game, but like if he was broken, they would be fine with him getting toned down. It just don't ruin the fun, right? Mute says, I'm happy to get full gauge damn Fang back. Plus I appreciate the upgrade on normals, Zato player. The side grades on some spells are interesting. I like them too, Oscar player. However, I wonder how thoroughly they really test this patch. Maybe a day 1 is required. Yeah, maybe. I don't agree with the Zato change. I think Zato, they did not upgrade normals. They feel the same. They suck. Far Slash and Vihel is a joke. Oscar is way nerfed. I'm not going to say he sucks, but he's way nerfed. But I guess this is just the Doomer in me coming out, so forgive me. But yeah, maybe a day 1 is required, but we'll have to see. Hell says, I'm glad everyone got changed. It's weird to say, but the game felt very stale now with so much change. Everything feels new and most of the changes help feel the game is more healthy now. Yeah, no. I like seeing the comments where it's, people are being positive on the patch, but yeah, no, definitely healthy is definitely not the word to use when describing this current season of the game. Void Ocean says, Slayer has less health. Out of the Slayer nerfs, this makes me the most sad, but I get it. He is 1 less HP. Like, 1 less HP. So, I guess what they mean is Slayer being in line with the cast when it comes to health. Obviously he went from one of the highest to he's now in the middles, or maybe a little higher than the middle, but he's in line with the rest of the cast. Void Room says, chilling with these Oscar changes, but praying I don't end up on a Twitter clip. Like, good lord. They said in the photo they posted, playing Oscar with Case 2 and Case 2 plus 3 is so good now. This is just what I wanted. The nerfs to Bishop Metron and Continuous Mana were barely nerfs. Oh my. Getting Boost Metron to level 3. Oh wow. Random import is huge since... Dude, okay, this is hurting my soul. Okay, they're happy with the Oscar changes. The reason I was stopping so much is because I disagree heavy. And I think a lot of the Oscar players actually disagree. Test Case 2 is still worse than Test Case 3. And the cards they buffed in Test Case 2, dude, the mana card in Test Case 2 gives you like no mana back. It's still weaker than 3. I don't think any Oscar out there is playing 2 plus 3. I don't think it's optimal. I think 3 is still the optimal strat. The Bitchef Metron and the mana nerfs were huge nerfs, which I'll get into in another video when I make one about Oscar, but they were huge nerfs. His power level greatly dropped. He's definitely more fair, but I think he was already fair because of his matchups that he had into some characters just were very terrible. For example, like Faust and Slayer, and there's others to be said, but you know, those are the main offenders. You know, you had like Nago and Bridget and, you know, Axel. Oh my gosh, Axel is definitely the worst. But yeah, no, he's a whole different, like, his power level is nowhere near where it used to be, for sure. But I like reading your opinion because I value all the opinions. Pokey says, I think overall majority of the changes will be healthy in the long run, but Jacko just doesn't feel the same. So far I'm demoted to play and just want to play Deadlock. Yeah, I have a lot of friends playing Deadlock, but yeah, I mean, Jacko, I don't really think Jacko got changed too much. I believe she just got the dash cancel on minion kick, and they made it so you can't combo off the 2D at any range. So, I don't know, maybe there's more to it. Sunny D says, they turn Soul into... Oh, dude. Alright, Sin isn't just T2 touching you, nor is he Soul Bad Guy 2.0. But I do agree that everyone is doing more damage. But yeah, no. Sin is very fair. M says, a lot of people will like and dislike this patch based on characters themselves. Yeah, there was a meta before and anyone could have won. Now there seems to be defined meta, making competitive really unfun with the same characters just winning. That's what I think will happen. I think Ram is just so broken. I just think Ram is broken. I think Happy Chaos will always be a winner. I think that character will always be a top 5 character, but Ram is just so broken right now that it's unfun. And obviously, like Gold Lewis as well. IMO, this was a great patch. A lot of new shit to experience and experiment with. Characters that needed nerfs got them. I'm personally happy with this patch. For the most part, definitely some issues, but as it stands, I'm very happy. So yeah, I believe Wombo Fuse is actually one of the better players in OCE. I don't know, I get what they're saying, but I don't know. Again, the aspect of new stuff and new character is definitely a good, like, feeling. I don't necessarily agree with... Again, I just don't agree with the changes. It was just executed poorly. Disconnected says, bugs, complete revamps of characters 4 years into the game's life cycle, buffing already good characters and nerfing or forgetting characters that were already not performing well. I think this sums it up. Yeah, it does sum it up, and we hear you, and this, again, a bunch of people agree. Velvet says, I've seen people say that they're mad that they have to relearn a character, but personally I like it. If it's because they lost something that made their combos fun, then I can understand it, but being able to look at combos a different way for my character has been enjoyable. Yeah, I understand. New combos are always fun. It's not just with the way they're doing, like, for example, like Pot, it's not just new combos, it's new characters as a whole, right? Like, Ram is a whole new character, but, like, absurdly 30 more times broken than, like, ever. Andros. Okay, so this is, if you don't know what Andros is, arguably the best Pot in the world. They made Pot extremely awkward to pilot, and in some situations, the character kit is straight dysfunctional. Pot can't tick throw out of any of his normals on opponent's stand-up ding, and on crouch up D, you can barely do it if you don't do point blank close slash. Flicks reward in normal hit is non-existent. There's no reason to just hold up back on 6k if you have the HP for it, as well as Garuda having counter recovery, leading to huge punishes. Space Garudas give you no mix because it's not plus enough to let you walk in the Potemkin Buster ranges anymore. Gerudo reward on backdash catch mid-screen is also extremely bad. 7 frame 2K sounded good on paper, but it has so much recovery now that you are better off pressing Pot Buster almost every time on defense. Back Mega Fist is gone as a defensive tool, so overall Pot's defense got a lot worse. Despite all of his negatives, Pot has more damage as well as easier access to it, so he can absolutely rob people with even less interactions than last patch. So he ended up being a dysfunctional mess that can just out-risk war people. Yeah, it's interesting to talk about Pot. And also, Andros, if you're watching this video, I want to do a video with you. If you can, if you're watching this very second, DM me on Discord or Twitter. I want to get in contact with you. But yeah, no, I agree. It's, from what I've heard people talk about, from what I've heard Pot players talk about, it's weird. I believe I saw like Humdi Potemkin or something say that Pot is actually stronger. But I heard Adam, which is a boy, for people that don't know. I've heard a boy, and obviously now Andros say that Pot is way worse and does not work at all and is useless. So I want to get a video going about Pot. So Flogger says, they had good ideas, but it feels like they just gave up midway through with the way a lot of the characters were changed. It also feels like they did not playtest this patch because of all the bugs and weird interactions. If only they dedicated more time to this patch. Dude, yeah, that's what we all thought. We're like, yo, okay, they want to delay the patch. You know, they want to save for October and give us a small one now and then a big one later because that big patch is going to hit and it's going to change the game and it's going to be saved. And then they release this shit. Gravtail says, I main Slayer, and although he is worse this patch, I'm having more fun with him than ever. I was like the one person asking for 6k buffs. The lower defense and loss of reversal makes defense an actual weakness for him now. Twitter no longer complain about him is a bonus. Yeah, I do agree. Them nerfing Slayer's super to make it not have invul on startup is actually one of the best changes that this game has ever done. But then they like accidentally buffed Mappa Hunch, and I don't know. It's like he does more damage. I don't understand. I don't get it. Tino says, I'm having fun. I fully get why people are seeing, why people are seething, but at the same time, this discourse happens quite literally every patch. They drop a new season with balance changes. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just not like this. Like the eruption of like people just hate this patch, dude. Like this patch is just so it had the right ideas, but unfortunately it turned out like this. Reggie says, this patch aimed for individual character changes, but by the distribution of changes is extremely whack. Certain characters receive no love and others too much. Reworking certain characters so drastically alienates the player base. Overall, worst patch we've had in a while. I agree. Definitely the worst patch we've had in a while. Reggie also says, oh yeah, this patch aimed to lower damage across the board while making explosive damage, relying on hard combos to get starters, but they made those starters extremely easy to get at the same time. Damage has certainly not been decreased compared to Season 3, still getting blown up. Yeah, again, I don't get it, dude. Again, it's just executed so poorly. They had the right idea, they're just, I don't know, man. Funny Birdman says, the Rainwater nerf made me drop Axel. He lost most of his sauce, a lot of damage, and his already bad pressure got even worse. On top of that, the few buffs he got are borderline meaningless, and none of it is interesting. This is what I've heard from most Axel players, so it's hard not to see Axel players talking like this. And I feel bad, because while the Rainwater vacuum was broken for some characters, it definitely affected his combo game. With regards to Soul, they reduced the need to learn any high-level mechanics like TK, HVV, or Kara 236k, and even Kara DP. Soul also doesn't leverage the RC mechanic because he has no need to do different RC routes of different directions or types or even speeds. Yeah, I mean, Soul's combos just got changed for the 50 cajillionth time. Yeah, I mean, that's really just how they nerf Soul, dude. They just change his routing. Samantha says, honestly, after playing Potemkin's changes more, he feels not bad. I wouldn't mind if they brought cars back or kept this version either way. That being said, this patch was not fucking playtested at all. Like, holy fuck, is the power level higher than last patch? Oh, how is the power level higher than last patch? I don't know, dude. Like, I don't quite get it myself. Again, I feel like they had the right idea. It just went left. I don't know. I wish they'd spent a little more time. Sliver, please forgive me for butchering that. But they said, I actually think Season 4, more so Dizzy, sold me on coming back. I stopped playing mid-season Season 1 since I got bored of the game and I was carried by May up to floor 9. Trying to learn anyone else felt like a torture, and Bridget was too different from Plus R, which made me stay away for longer. Well, yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying Dizzy. It seems like a lot of people are enjoying Dizzy. I'll make a video on that character soon. I have a lot of thoughts on that character, but yeah, no, I'm glad people are coming back to the game from Disney. And it's cool to see people that played the older games as well come back to Strive. So I think that's cool. Aphania says, if we talk about our mains, Jacko 2D changes just feel small on paper, but paired with the already happened 5k nerf made Jacko not have good conversions at all, while also losing her OTG setups and making her mix-ups worse. She feels like she's just supposed to annoy you, not win. When I say that she just feels like she's supposed to annoy you, it's because in another patch they left her insane block strings alive while reducing her ability to deal damage. It feels like they just want her to be making you block for a long time, but not have a winning game plan. I don't know. I haven't really seen what King Africa said about Jacko, because when I did a video with him, he thought Jacko last patch in 3.5 was absurdly broken, and like top 5, like easy. So I'm very curious for his opinions now. I see him playing a lot of Dizzy, so maybe he's done with Jacko, and maybe he believes the character is dead. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like Jacko does damage though. I could be wrong though. Mitsuki says, while my character is one of the winners of this patch, I feel so fucking bad for the Axel Milia mains out there, and even the ones who got buffed like crazy this patch, like Ram and Pot, but basically had their entire skill set for the past 3 years until he invalidated. Well, don't feel bad for Ram players, because that character is so broken. Yeah, and then they had some more messages, but they just went on to say basically this patch was not play tested and talk about the bugs in the game. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, again, bugs, not play tested. Yeah, we all believe so as well. Don't feel bad for Ram, but yeah, pot mains, my heart goes out to you fellas. Axel Milia, I feel bad for them as well. Kinda, not really. Valor says, neutral getting shot. Leia would like a word. You Leo players, bro. Polka says, this patch is really, really fun at least. Again, it comes down to perspective. I don't know how to say this name, but Testament has felt power creep for ages. Summer patch was nice, but not enough, but Arxis doesn't see it that way. One minor patch tier quality of life buff for a low tier when characters like Ram, Leo, Gold Lewis, and Naga are becoming way more oppressive. Absolute slap in the face. Yeah, I agree. Again, this is another repeat comment. It was just a poorly executed patch. Fast says, it's very evident that the patch, regardless of who you play, should have been released bit by bit across the length of the season rather than everything all at once. And more characters mechanics should have been playtested so much more against more characters. Yeah, again, more frequent patches is something that we've all been asking for quite a while now. So having it all dropped on us like this is a bit depressing. DBL says, Johnny's still bottom 3, so bad patch. Yeah, alright, moving on. Elo Dad says, Chip is fucking sick. The new move is the coolest new move I've seen in this game so far. So I agree, Chip looks sick. Clover says, it feels like they removed my character from the game and added a new one with the same name. Yeah, I mean, again, Pot is totally different, so I understand your confusion. Lucy says, I hate how nothing is consistent. Ram and Chip got brand new tools, not counting Ram's bugs. Potemkin and Soul are completely different characters, but oops, Johnny the same. We nerfed Happy Chaos again, but oops, he's still top tier. Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing, Happy Chaos's kit will always make him top tier. Like, the gun will always make him top tier. They would actually have to rework him to make him, like, worse. Like, he would have to get the Potemkin treatment, so, yeah, I understand your frustration as well. Tekken Guy says, it's a fun patch so far. No. Jake Up says, good patch because Biken's striving now. No. Family Friendly Buddy says, this patch is kind of weird. Lots of buffs and nerfs, or reworks that might or might not feel necessary. But to be honest, I'm glad they buffed Biken, because I'm now enjoying her mechanic and better normals more and more. So overall, I'm not that mad about the patch. Again, comes down to perspective. Plus, yeah, Biken just got the world. You know that something is wrong though with this patch, but even Winty is saying, at what cost did she get those buffs? So, yeah, this patch is ass. Jick says, millions are... Okay, so he's talking about Milia, but I'm going to save this one because I want to talk about it when I do the video with Walter. So I'll put it on the screen, but I don't want to talk about it too much just because video coming soon. Bamboo Zeke says, I like how they did my boy Kai Kisk. Yeah, well, he's bugged right now, so we'll talk to you after the changes. Landlubber says they took away vacuum from actual rainwater and put a sad face. Yeah, I feel your pain. Badline IRL says, I don't play all characters, although I wish I could, but briefly I will say this. They lied to us about the damage in the patch notes. Remove sauce from characters. Remove sauce from characters like they now feel mixed about them. Guard Crush is not the answer. Yeah, Guard Crush is not the answer. I don't like that they're passing out Guard Crush like candy. Remove sauce from the characters. I definitely agree. Some characters lost some identities, so it's kind of sad, and the sauce is now gone because they play differently. And yeah, they did lie about the patch. It feels like people do more damage, so I will say that. For my actual comment on my character, Leo feels really bad to use in front turn. It's an integral part of the character, and his dash block being fucked up, and his 236H just feeling clunkier takes some fun out of it for me. Yeah, so the 236H, the run through definitely did get nerfed. I've fought it firsthand. I've seen it. It's definitely worse. But yeah, front turn is definitely worse because the dash block isn't just absurd. Yeah, Narla says, top tiers buff for no reason, overall health lowered. Overall health lowered, but several moves from the power characters buff for no reason. Again, Arxis just got bored. They had to buff them. Nerf characters with little to zero tournament representation for no reason. Whip gunshot still exists. Many changes severely inconsistent with intentions described. Again, it was planned. It just was execution. The execution was poor. DJ the Yandere says, I think we are dooming a bit too hard on Zato. Lens, me going back in time to stop Nitro from winning one set with Jacko on Grands. Yeah, Jacko, again, I don't know how good the dash cancel buff is on the minion kick, so I can't speak on Jacko just yet. Zen says, I like that P-Mob became even better in some aspect because it feels like a big fuck up. If they don't patch it out but fix other stuff, I will be very happy. No need to reload my character, only S-Mappa Hunch and HP nerfs really matter. All precious loops are here. Yeah, so, yeah, it seems like all of his loops are still there. It seems like he does more damage as well. But I will say the defense and HP nerf to Slayer, I guess other characters having more HP than him is nice. But, yeah, no, I think the biggest nerf to his defense is honestly the best change. I think that's the only change that, like, actually mattered for that character. Ajax says, Viking and Elfel are fun, and Ram is probably bugged, so I'll wait to give my opinion on her until their actual vision for the character is more clear. I like it aside from the random strays some mid-tier characters got and Gold Loose being buffed. Yeah, Gold Loose being buffed is absurd. They were truly just bored. Like, they were just sitting at home and just bored. That Scrub David says, pretty much the rest of the cast got added sauce to their kits, for better or for worse. What did Axel get? Sauce reverted back to season 1. Yeah, it's unfair. It's unfair. Generic Soda says, the pendulum has swung the other way for me on the Anchi changes. The rich get richer and the poor get poor approach with Ram, Gold, Lewis, and Zato Amelia, respectively, is a bad look. Regarding Potemkin and the removal of Kara's, the fun quirks of the system going away feels regressive. Yeah, again, this patch is just so weird, dude. I don't know. Next patch. Go next. Dextroid says, my take on the changes for Soul is that they were completely unnecessary for a character that's flaws were easily fixable to begin with. Nerf Revolver's range and speed and make it not RCable to remove the easy 50-50s or nerf damage of the HVV loops. Just don't completely rework it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm hearing that Soul's more fun to play, but Mega says, as a chip main, life is good. But for real now, I think this update is definitely getting reworked, reversed. There's no way Arx sees all the backlash they're getting and don't try to soften the blow. Yeah, again, for a company that bounces off Twitter so much, I need to see how they respond to this, like all the hate. Hopefully, this means that they're actually gonna like fix this shit. Nika says they nerfed my character. My condolences, bro. Mine too. Speaking of bridges specifically, the drift roll fixed something that, in my opinion, shouldn't have been fixed. She can now get 250-50s off of Block.js while still being able to go for a low, while keeping her inconsistencies as they were before. But yeah, no, I will put the rest of the comments that Cactus says. They basically just say that she got some buffs, but the parts that were weak about the character are still weak, which yeah, I've seen some mixed opinions from like Rox and some other Bridget players, so I'm curious to see how this will turn out. Soul says, I'm biased because I'm a Johnny player, but Johnny still feels fun. Faust is more fun for me too, but it sucks to see what happened to characters like Pot, Millie, and Axel. Taking away a cool part of Pot's skills, skill expression and release things, and nerfing Millie and Axel for no reason. Yeah, I agree. Blue Jay says, they ruined Axel for no reason. Not 4 months after making the most fun version of him to date. Removing the vacuum on Rainwater shot his combos to smithereens and removed his ability to threaten a reset. His offense now is literally just not even to do offense and reset neutral. Yeah, again, the Axel changes seem pretty harsh. Or I guess it was only one change that kind of killed the fun. So Guilty Gear fan says Soul feels like complete ass with the 5. He's just a close /far bot now, and they somehow made his stuff like Sidewinder, Fafnir loops unfun to do, which I have to give credit for. Executive, the Kai projectile, infinite combo, and some of the new RAM weirdness are the things I hope they address soon. They already addressed the Kai stuff, I believe, so it should be getting changed, but in a weird place where many people are vocally negative, but biking is fun right now, so I'm having fun. Yeah, I mean, she got buff, so I see why. Crit Crusader says, there's a split between half the cast getting way overcompensated and the other half getting gutted. It's very jarring how Ram and Gold Lewis are like that, and they just crush Pot and Axel's ankles. Then you have Tess that got one change. It feels like they're picking favorites. Yeah, again, the changes are very consistent, giving some characters the world that didn't need it, and other characters just nothing. Rhea the Witch says, for me, it just isn't fun anymore. It sent me into immediate burnout when I do actually want to play. It's bugging, and a lot of the nerfs feel ridiculous when they just juiced up the other characters up to 11. Day 1 of a new patch should make me feel like I need a break. I agree. Again, just executed poorly. Biking is literally perfectly balanced. Oh my. Alright, Spicy Fetus. Okay. Everything else is a mess. Ram is busted. Kaya's an infinite Pot lost his sauce, etc. Okay. Cutie says, I play Biking and even I don't want to play Strive at the moment. They just fuck too many things. Yeah, I hear you. Yato says, outstanding move Arxis. And put a little image on the screen. That's funny. That one Jeb guy says, I hike he snuck by with this patch because Johnny and Slayer are basically the exact same. Arxis just loves me. Rep Zato again though. Keep on shooting him through the skull over and over like this corpse hasn't been sitting around for some time. Bring back Zato, man. Let's see. Hatsu says, I can't be asked to type this out. Brenton is my 13th though. Okay, so yeah, I'll put the screenshot on the screen. But they basically just go over the Axel changes, and yeah, they're having the same complaints as us. The damage being even higher, RAM being broken, right? And then basically talking about the same Axel changes that have been said this whole video. Basically just Rainwater. Rainwater being nerfed is pretty shitty, so I hear the frustration from all around. Gara says, I like the ability to change test cases on Asuka, but I don't like that I lose a ton of mana more even if I don't do it. It will just drain your entire bar if you do it for too long, and that makes it extremely hard to use effectively, even as a beginner. Yeah, the nerf to the mana super is, or sorry, to the card super is pretty, it feels really bad, but I don't know, maybe we just aren't moving fast enough. Who knows? Pass says, Zato bottom 1, I can't take it anymore. Casa says, I play Ram and May, don't get what everyone's problems are. JK, things are pretty whack, but I'm having fun at least. That's good, you're having fun. Colo says, Ram is bugged, Gold Lewis and Nago and May do too much damage. A million Axel players dooming. Axel 2P still busted. Zato got double tapped. Kai has an infinite biking as functional. Health changes were inconsequential due to damage increases. Only thing that changed was routing. Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunate. Night Persona says, Faust feels super in line with his core identity and is funny as hell as usual. Well, yeah, that's the whole thing that Faust's supposed to have. He's supposed to be like a funny little guy, big guy, whatever. So, Young Goki says, another really awkward patch where the rich somehow get richer and the poor get something really goofy and not at all helpful to their core game plan while losing a grip of their character identity utility. Feels more clumsy than usual though, and hilariously undertested. Yeah, I agree. Shank says, Wall Assault got no nerfs. The shit's cooked, dog. Yeah, red Wall Assault needs to die, and white Wall Assault also needs to go. Blue Wall Assault on some characters need to die as well. On some characters it's fine, but others it's way too strong. Freaky Jack says, Elf changes are actually quite wonderful. and give her an actual identity with bomb post wall break. I hate that what they did to Soul. The execution feels so sloppy. Vortex looks like a mod, and its combos aren't nearly as fun as Bandit Revolver based ones. I'm fine with the HVV change. The HVV change is weird. I guess it kind of depends on who you ask. But overall, Soul is still very, very strong, so he'll be fine. Emerald says, Bedman stays winning. Yeah, again, the Bedman changes have been very dependent on who you ask, because some people will tell you he's better, and some people will tell you he's a lot worse. Yeah. Heavenly Reprise says, they reworked Nago just for him to end up being top tier again. Yeah, pretty much. Telster says, Zato is kill. Play Chip now. Much fun. I like Chip. Yeah, okay. Kevin says, Chip Rope is sick. I feel like I'm a beginner at the game once more. Yeah, that makes me happy to hear. I'm glad that the new moves are making the characters feel like more fun. Like there's a lot to learn. So that's cool to hear. And also the new move just looks sick. Wee says, Arx saw Potemkin memes and decided to transform him into a real glue chugging clunky mess he was depicted as. Yeah, I mean, the changes to Pot are pretty weird. He's definitely a lot more accessible to the community. Zerf says, saying the top tiers get buffed even more while low tiers get scraps is the reason why people hate it so much. Yeah, pretty much. Salwa says, Axel Low. Just Axel Low. Belt. Andra says, it's a really silly patch. And agreed, it is very silly. John Hamburger says, they made Gold Lewis a lot more fun to lab than he is to play against people when you remember they have feelings too. Yeah, that's how it be, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that's how it be. Yokai says, I want Axel Rainwater back, guys. I'm saying this as a Johnny man. Why the fuck did our Satan get double damage? We already basically have all we need to deal with characters in this game. Excluding a couple, of course, but the skill issue, shaking my head, and don't change the game fully. Yeah. Fun fact, Nsenga does the same damage as old Pile Bunker, so I don't know why they gave that to Johnny, but sure. And then Ren basically just put the Kai Infinite, which is pretty funny because, yeah, this should not be a thing at all. Hot Gamer 123 says, keep an eye on your Axel buddies. Check up on them. Yeah, again, I've only seen so much do about this character, man. Lakey says, negative penalties should be buffed more, where bitches like Johnny, Bridget, and Happy Chaos stop running away. Like, focus you running for, you got a scary skip neutral tools, but you decide to run away with 50 meters. Shit should activate after 2 backdashes, no warning, just instant. Nah, because then Zato would be unplayable. Well, he actually already is unplayable, but he would be somehow worse. But yeah, no. If they keep that shit in the game, then yeah, Johnny, Bridget. Actually, you know what? Sure, let's do it, because I hate how Johnny, Happy Chaos play. And Bridget, so fuck it. Let's nerf him. Just double down and kill him. So Riku basically put okay, let's see. So they put a little text document about RAM, it looks like. Just to go over the changes. They're basically just saying that they don't understand the RAM changes and they're not really having fun with the game, which I completely understand. They basically at the end go to say, I love Strive, I love Ramathal, but that's not the game I love anymore. And yeah, it's just no one really likes the patch, so I understand. Although they do finish it out with, it's soon going to be as big as a dumpster that, like, the same as DBFZ. So that's kind of, yeah. This definitely was a DBFZ Mickey patch, so I guess we'll kind of just have to wait and see, like, what. Kashika says, I'm kind of loving Kai. They gutted one move that was crucial to his combo structure, but with the shock state changes, the character got so many creative solutions. It's crazy. Overall, patch is good, but needs bug fixes and fine-tuning, as others said, and please lower the damage. I heavily agree. To finish this off, I'm going to put 2 screenshots on the screen. One of the people did not have a Twitter, so they DM me on Discord, basically responding to the... This is their comment. They just don't have a Twitter. That's what I'm trying to say. But they basically go over talking about Asuka, and, you know, it's pretty interesting. Again, I love hearing all the opinions. But they start off as, you know, talking about Potemkin and the removal of Kara's. But yeah, I hear him, they or them, you know, I definitely understand their frustration, because they mentioned that Pot is the reason they play the game, and, you know, the character kind of just going, and, you know, it's sad. You know, spending so much time working on execution just for this is definitely upsetting. So you're just, you know, you're not the only one. Again, I think I've read 20 comments in that 130 comments about, you know, how Potemkin is. It just doesn't feel the same anymore, so I understand. And the last screenshot is from Uabami. They said, RAM is blatantly overtuned and probably bugged. I won't be competing in tournaments in any serious matter if she stays strong, ignoring Burst and YRC by Frosty. However, the rest of the patch is quite enjoyable. Johnny is just as fun. Overall, the game is feeling fresh. Very optimistic for the rest of the patch, but it's a shame they overshot with RAM and heavily undershot with Milia, Tesman, and Zato. I hope we get a hotfix soon that'll address all the bugs and thins out the outlier. I need this. I see the potential Arxis needs to make. Oh, and then they said also as well, patch is good and I can see the potential. They just fucked up on a handful of characters, balance, and a lot of bugs that need to be fixed ASAP. Yeah, so again, I get it. This patch is just. It's definitely funny to see because I have a video on RAM coming out and some people just DQ'd from tourneys when they had to fight RAM. So it's interesting to hear Uabami say that they are just not going to be competing if RAM is not fixed by Frosties. Which is, yeah. Well, let's hope it's a bug, because if not, then we're cooked. We are cooked. But yeah, that will be all. That was a pretty long video. Thanks everyone for commenting. We got way more comments than the last time. So I'm interested to see what will happen the next time. But it probably won't be for a while. So, but yeah, more videos on the way. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for commenting again. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you, and I'll talk to you guys later.